Okay, today I'm going to have a quick little video about adjusting a rear derailleur. I'm going to do this video in response to a request from GR Marco yesterday on the Tiax Elite Upgrade Special video. He had asked for videos on front and rear derailleur adjustments. I'm going to start on the rear derailleur. I've just installed this Sram X5 rear derailleur on my Mongoose paver, and I've already got the cable installed, ready to be tightened. Just want to show you what you'll need to do this yourself. I have a couple of multi-tools, a screwdriver, a set of wire cutters, and then a pair of pliers. That's pretty much all you'll need to do actually the entire install, including the cables and housing. And what you want to first do, make sure you leave all the excess on there until you're completely done. Don't want to accidentally cut short on your cable, because then you're headed right back to the bike shop to get more. Now first off, I'm just going to go ahead, get it in there and snug it just enough, just by finger, to hold the cable in place. Now for this purpose of the video, make it easier on myself, I'm going to cut off down here, eliminate some excess, but I'm going to leave about 6 or 8 inches of extra. That way I know for sure that I will have excess. And as you see there, leave about 6-8 inches extra, because I don't think there's any chance I'll need 2 feet of extra. Once that's clipped off, I'll leave that there for now. What you want to do is take your screwdriver, look at your adjuster screws, and compared to your cassette, you want to give yourself a little leeway so that it can shift not quite past it, but give it enough leeway to where it can shift down to your lowest gear. Take note that I have the chain already sitting on my, this is the smallest cog. This would be your actually your highest gear, but your lowest number of teeth. This is my smallest cog, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. That way I'm not fighting with the derailleur's tension. Some people like to start out on the largest, and you actually have to keep this fully tensioned. If you do that, you'd have to hold it the whole time, and I really don't want to do that. This is my method. It works well for me. So what I'm going to do now is take my high screw, and right now the way it was set up stock, this derailleur was able to shift quite a bit past. So now I'm going to turn it in just a little bit to where it can get even with the cog. You look here at the back. From the back you can see that your pulleys line up, or just a tiny amount past. Right now I have it about this much past the cog to where it won't actually overshift, but it will fully shift into that gear. Adjust that up so you can see it a little better. Now once I have that adjusted, I'm going to give just a little more of a tighten on that. I'm going to take out all of the slack. Don't pull real hard, but just enough to get the slack out. I'm going to take my pair of pliers here on the end, pull the slack out, and now I'm actually going to go ahead and tighten up that anchor bolt. Once it's tightened, give it a little more of a twist. Once it's tightened, be sure that before you do this, you set your barrel adjuster at the shifter at dead in the middle, so you have room to play both up and down, so you can tighten and loosen the cable. Once you have it set up, go ahead, give the cranks a spin, listen for any drivetrain noise, go ahead and shift through, go all the way up the cogs. Okay, I'm all the way up, and it does not want to stay up there. So now this is when you check your low adjuster screw. Want to make sure that it's not in contact with it. It's not. You can look from back here and see that it's not in contact. So what you do now is you push it just slightly past to where you have, again, room, but then you turn it in so that it cannot overshift. Okay. It can shift all the way up to the biggest cog, but not past it. And you also don't want it to accidentally get into the spokes here. If it can get into the spokes, you've just lost your rear derailleur and possibly damaged your frame, because as you're turning, your momentum can easily rip this derailleur in half or completely off the frame. So make sure that you adjust this screw to block off spokes. And you can check clearance using whatever kind of tool. Right now, the width of this screwdriver is the clearance I have. Now is when you actually get into adjusting your shifting. I'm in my lowest gear. You see, it cannot push into the spokes. No matter what I do, it will not push into it. Now, I'm in my lowest, and you can tell right now it's wanting to come down the cogs. Okay, that shows I need to tighten it. So using your barrel adjuster, and the Sram X5 series has nice clicks, so it will give you. Okay, now it's eliminated its tendency to shift down. So now we need to check and see if it will shift down. Go ahead and click it. I hear a little bit of noise. The noise that you hear, that signals that it's not lined up just right. It is shifting down. Now it's wanting to shift down too far. So again, tighten it up some more. And we're going to go ahead and continue on down. Okay, now let's see if it will shift back up. I'm not hearing any noise as I shift. That was a little bit of a sluggish shift there. So we'll give it just a little bit of a turn on the barrel adjuster. Now we'll come back down. Each shift is clean now. Had a little bit of sluggishness there. At that. That is the fourth gear there, so it had a little sluggishness in there. Now head back up. Anything that you hear here, or any sluggishness that you hear, will show itself even more so under power. So now it is adjusted. Well, again, this is the best way to do it, just to see. I think I've over adjusted tightening wise. Let's head back up. There's the weakness there. Okay. Get that adjusted out. Now let's go back up, see if I've gotten it out, up, up. Just keep playing with it until you get it just right. You'll have it down to where there's just simply very minor adjustments. Okay. Okay. When you hear that kind of sluggishness, that's definitely an adjustment needed there. So tighten it up just a little more. And come back down. That was pretty good on the way down. And tighten it up a couple quarter turns. Still have to get it just right. And voila. It does take a little bit of trial and error so that you can get it exactly right. Part of it is this is still the cheap freewheel. Let you take a look at that. And not a quality cassette. But I want to go ahead and get my shifter and derailleur on there. But go backwards here. This is a cheaper Shimano. That's about their lowest end, and it doesn't shift very good itself. A lot of the problem is in this freewheel. It's not even a cassette, but as you see, now I've got it to where it will shift as clean as you're going to expect that freewheel to shift. Once you get done with that, go ahead, clip off your excess, and then put on a end cap on your cable. But this is a rear derailleur adjustment, and just keep playing with it. That's the basic rule of thumb. Just get it close here at the rear derailleur and then play with it at the shifter. Once you have it close here, your barrel adjuster pretty much solves everything else for you. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comment section below, and I will do a how to adjust front derailleur here sometime this week, so stay tuned.